Well, the gig economy is gaining traction, this time with a push in electric vehicles. Flexclub, a car subscription marketplace, is partnering with fintech company Untapped. The two are planning on offering thousands of electric vehicles in emerging markets for on-demand workers. So what exactly does this mean? We're very lucky to have Flexclub CEO and co-founder Tanashi Ruzani and also Untapped Global CEO Jim Chu joining us. Thank you both for being here. Tanashi, let's just start with you. Talk to us about this car subscription marketplace and really how it differs from other lease-to-own or owning systems that we see with other car rentals.
Yeah, sure. So essentially, I think the key difference is that subscriptions sit somewhere in between long-term leases and short-term rentals. So all the flexibility of short-term rental, some of the pricing benefits of long-term leasing. And we came up with this construct following careers at Uber, building what Uber was calling vehicle solutions, realizing the gap for those in the gig economy, and then realizing that this construct of car subscriptions could be extended to a wider host of consumers looking for access to cars that can't access or don't want to access traditional vehicle finance.
Okay, talk about, because for people who don't know, you are in South Africa and also Mexico. What does this offer to drivers in emerging markets? I mean, why go with this specific model?
Yeah, so one of the key opportunities that is available in an emerging market like South Africa or one like Mexico is that alternatives to traditional vehicle finance don't really exist. In a market like the US or across Europe, leasing is obviously quite well known, but relatively non-existent in markets like South Africa and Mexico. So we felt that subscriptions could help leapfrog that and increase access for this community of drivers that are using these on-demand platforms that can't access traditional vehicle finance. And ultimately, that's why we thought that the emerging markets would be a good starting point, where there's a pretty large base of customers using on-demand platforms to earn a living. To use Mexico as an example, there are over 300,000 drivers that use the Uber app every single week to earn a living that are vastly unserved by traditional vehicle financing.
And Jim, I'd love to bring you in here. You're with Untapped Global. Talk to us about this partnership and sort of what Untapped is bringing to this new partnership.
Well, we're excited because Flexclub has just a tremendous amount of data and they manage it so well. So by accessing that kind of data about driver behavior and what they collect in fares, we actually can de-risk our financing to organizations like Flexclub and ultimately serve a lot more small entrepreneurs like the drivers in their system.
Can you talk about that de-risking? I mean, explain that to us.
Yeah, so we really see it as the new way of doing financing. We use data to understand the health of the business and understand in real time what is happening with the fare collections, with the repayments and so on, so that we can understand how much risk we're taking by giving them larger and larger amounts of capital to scale. And so our goal is really to be an on-demand source of capital for high growth companies like Flexclub so that they can better serve the thousands of entrepreneurs that they're providing with their subscription platform.
And this is coming at a time, I'm sure both of you know this, where we're seeing supply chain hurdles, labor shortages around the world. So Tanashi, I mean, how do you plan to get this off the ground? I mean, let's just talk electric vehicles, electric motorcycles that you guys are going to be introducing. I mean, how are you going to be able to do this at this point in time?
Yeah, so I mean, it is definitely a pervasive issue that the global automotive industry is navigating through. In the case of motorcycle manufacturing, it hasn't been as pervasive, at least not in Mexico. So we are partnering with the likes of ITALIKA, which is the largest motorcycle manufacturer in Mexico, producing electric bikes in the Mexican market. And they are confident that they can navigate through this and serve the community of drivers that are looking to subscribe for electric motorcycles in a market like Mexico, thanks to this partnership we have with Untapped. And we're confident that that won't be a major issue for us to navigate, at least not in the Mexican market in the short term.
How are they so confident, though? I mean, there's a lot of infrastructure that's going to be required, right, to make this possible. So what specifics have they told you?
So one of the major things is that there is some inventory already available in market. Naturally, we're not going to market with 1,000 drivers subscribing for electric motorcycles right away. So there is a ramp-up period. Our aspirations are certainly to serve thousands of drivers, but we'll be doing this sustainably in a manner that allows our manufacturers to keep up with pace, or at least a manufacturer like ITALIKA to keep up with pace, and also deploying capital responsibly together in partnership with the likes of Untapped.
Yeah, and Jim, talking about the partnership and the capital responsibility, I wonder with some of these countries to ensure something like this can actually be successful.
A great question. I mean, there's always an intent from local governments to support local entrepreneurs. I think often, though, the intent falls short of the actual implementation because of the lack of the different options for providing finance scalably to small and medium-sized enterprises. So by giving local governments a tool to work with, we can actually help their agenda as well.
How do you see this expanding? I mean, how do you get to other emerging economies, especially when you think about some of the infrastructure that's needed, Jim?
Well, I think it's very important to be local and work with great best-of-breed local partners like Flexclub because they're the boots on the ground, they're the operational folks. We have teams on the ground as well, but they're the ones managing the drivers, they're managing the assets. And so in order to really scale and make this type of investing available for Americans and Europeans, we're really trying to connect the two sides. So having local partners in a number of countries and creating a seamless experience for international investors is our goal.
All right. Unfortunately, we have to leave it there, but really appreciate the two of you joining us. That's Tanashi Ruzani, CEO and co-founder of Flexclub, and also Jim Chu, waking up early for us in California, the CEO of Untapped Global. Thank you both for your time.